Tag, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of the Wiki K's podcast with me, the Rev Kev. And as always, my co-host, Cool Kyle.
Cool Kyle.
Hey, buddy.
What's going on, bro?
We have a lot to do in very little time, so we're just gonna jump right into it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. So first things first. Right. So this is gonna be an NFL special. This is gonna be talking about the playoffs. This audio will come out on Friday, and then we'll have another episode that is going to come out on Sunday. Maybe we'll do a video. Maybe we'll just find something we already have. We'll figure it out, or audio, or whatever.
Yeah, we'll find something.
We'll figure it out. But first things first, we need to talk about the NHL real quick and the heater that our Boston Bruins are currently on. Because,
good Lord.
I'm not going to say things that are going to jinx the team. I'm just going to say that they're playing very well, and if they keep the pace that they're going at right now, there's a potential that they could break the record for most points in a regular season.
Oh, yeah. If they keep playing the way they're playing right now, it's dominant.
Yeah.
And I was telling that to Chef last night, and I was like, can you imagine, like I told her, I was like, right now, after this win tonight, it's 32-4-4. That means the entire season so far, they have only lost outright 4 times. Mm-hmm. The other 4 were in overtime.
Right. There's only been a total of 12 points that they left on the table. Yeah. Out of all the points they could have gathered, like that's what? That's crazy.
Oh, yeah. And can you imagine when they actually put their mind to it and start playing in the playoffs?
That's going to be the tricky thing. That's going to be the war of attrition. That's why the Stanley Cup is arguably the hardest trophy in sports to win. Yeah. Because of the 2-month grind. And, you know, as great as this regular season is, and this team could go on to win 50, maybe 60 games, I don't care about that. I don't want a hollow President's Trophy. I want a Stanley Cup at the end of the day. Yeah. That's what the focus is. That's what the goal is. That's what they want to deliver to Boston. So yeah, hopefully it comes true.
I hope so too. I mean, like I said, they're playing dominant, so they need to focus.
So the tricky thing they have going for them, unfortunately, though, is you have a nice tight-knit group, and you don't want to fuck anything up. You don't want to change the lines up. You don't want to do nothing. But there are going to be, quote-unquote, playoff rentals that are going to be available. Your Patrick Kanes, your Jonathan Toews, Sean Monahan, I know we talked about outside of doing the show before. So do you bring these players in? Like, do you want to bring in a skill player like Kane and Toews? Not necessarily Toews isn't necessarily a skill player like he used to be, but he would definitely be a depth move. Yeah. As if you could have Jonathan Toews just there as a third-line defensive forward to play with Coyle or whatever, that'd be phenomenal. But again, you don't want to mess up. And I usually don't mind moving pieces around. I don't think you want to touch the core. I think what you want to do is just fine-tune a couple little pieces here and there, get players who, quote-unquote, know their role. Not a rock phrase or anything. I'm not trying to steal that. I'm just saying they know what their position on the team is. Yeah. They're not trying to be like, oh, I want more ice time. No, you are known as a third-line checking forward. You are known as a fourth-liner. You are known as a depth defenseman or a depth forward. We specifically got you for injury purposes because it's going to happen eventually. Yeah. The bubble's going to burst at some point, and I'm just waiting for it to happen. I'm surprised I'm in January and it hasn't happened yet. I thought they would have fallen off by now. They haven't.
Yeah. No, they've been remaining strong.
They've been remaining very strong. So, but that being said, this is a different conversation for a different show.
True.
Now that we've got that out of the way, let's talk football because we are here. We are on the. I don't know if I can legally use the road to the Super Bowl, so I'm not going to. I mean, I know I said it, but I don't think I legally can. So we'll just say it's...
The road to the Super Bowl is a statement, not a name.
I know, but I know how WWE things were like, oh, you can't steal the road to WrestleMania because we trademarked the road to WrestleMania. I'm saying like something stupid like that.
No. They won't get us for that.
All right, so road to the Super Bowl, journey to the Super Bowl, adventure to Arizona. There you go. It's going to be played in State Farm Arena at Arizona, where the Michigan Wolverines lost to the TCU Horned Frogs.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, God. But that's where the Patriots got a Super Bowl in the Malcolm Butler interception against the Seahawks. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So there's good and bad that happened. So, yeah, we're on the adventure to Arizona through the Wicked K's podcast. The NFL season concluded yesterday. Obviously, the Bills and the Bengals will be one game short than everybody else. So they'll be kind of operating under the old 16-week schedule before they added the extra week in.
Yeah.
We looked at it. I'm not going to go through all of it because I'm not going to bore people with numbers. I did look at this pre-show. The only division that I pretty much nailed almost right on, which I guess isn't a surprise, would be the AFC East. I picked the Bills in the predictions. If you want to go back and listen, go ahead. 13-4 I had the Bills at. They went 13-3, and you could debate that they could have won against the Bengals. They could have lost, but I was still pretty much right on the money. I had the Dolphins finishing at 9-8. They did. I had the Jets at 7-10. They were. The only one that I had wrong was the Patriots, and they were 9-8, and I had them at 10-7. And obviously, you could say this with a lot of teams, but arguably the Patriots could have been in that 10-7 slot. You know, the game against Minnesota got away. The Raiders game got away from them because of the bad play that Myers made. The loss to the Bengals where you fumbled at the 5-yard line when you had a chance to win. And then even this past week, you gave up 2 kick return touchdowns to the Bills, and the Bills played like shit. They played terrible. But they found a way, and they threw a bunch of deep passes, and the Patriots couldn't stop it towards the end of the game. And a
lot of that had to do with emotion.
It did. It was a lot of emotion, and I honestly thought going into that game that it was going to be like the last year's playoff game was, where it was like a 48-0 blowout, and it was just going to be a massacre. And the fact that the Patriots hung in there and were, tied at halftime and were making the right plays and the right reads, and Mac was actually being good. Mac was a good quarterback, so I can't shit on him anymore. You need to give him pieces. You got to give him a little bit of a better offensive line. He needs a number one.
I don't know if I necessarily agree with you. I mean, I think that he has the potential to be a good quarterback, but
you got to look at the stats, though. Look at the stats on the 3 touchdown drives that he had. He was perfect on all 3 touchdown drives that he had.
Yeah.
So
well, he has to improve in other areas.
I know this. He needs to have a little bit better awareness and pocket presence, and that's fine. But if you compare last year's Mac with an actual offensive coordinator in Josh McDaniels to this year's Mac with a not offensive coordinator in Matt Patricia, I want to know how next year's Mac's going to do. I'm willing to give him another year. And it's rumor has it that they're going to bring back Bill O'Brien, who was the former coach of the Texas Longhorns, and I think was also a coach in Alabama. And I don't know if he crossed paths with Mac at all. I should have looked that up. But if Bill O'Brien and Mac Jones already have a bit of chemistry between them, the Patriots are going to be fine.
Okay. I mean, I agree with you. I think I would be willing to see what Mac could do with more time.
Belichick already stated that he's coming back next year, which I'm not surprised by that. There's no reason to get rid of Belichick. He's not the problem.
Yeah.
The only problem that I'll say that a lot of people have seen that have said that I kind of agree with Belichick is he's bringing too many family and friends into the coaching aspect, and it shouldn't be about helping out family. Like, listen, Steve Belichick, former Patriot Gerard Mayo, and Bill Belichick, all on the defensive side of the ball, phenomenal. That's a playoff-worthy caliber defense when everybody's healthy and good to go. Yeah. It's unfortunate that McCourty and Slater's run has to end if they are indeed retiring. In Buffalo with a loss. I mean, obviously you would have liked to go out with a win, but it is what it is. McCourty and Slater have been there for years, and they've won multiple Super Bowls, and that's any player wishes to win one Super Bowl, let alone multiple Super Bowls. So.
Yeah, and that's what that's something that they can hang their hat on.
I know, and there's going to be a lot of speculation in the offseason. Do the Patriots keep Mac? Does Mac get traded? Do the Patriots get Brady back? Does somehow Aaron Rodgers show up? Because I know Bill Belichick has a bit of a respective affinity for Aaron Rodgers. Does Jimmy Garoppolo come back now that Brock Purdy, Mr. Irrelevant, seems to be running the show out in San Francisco, and he seems to be doing pretty well? And if Brock Purdy makes a long run, Jimmy Garoppolo's contract's up at the end of the year, and that's money off the books for the Niners, and they got this young rookie that's going to lead them to the promised land. Keep him for the $800,000 or whatever the hell he's signed for.
Yeah.
He's not signed for he was literally the last player taken in the draft, so.
Yeah.
Aside from that, the rest of my predictions were kind of just meh. I had the Chargers winning the AFC West. They made the playoffs, but they didn't win the West. I had the Chiefs finishing third in that division. I don't know why I thought the Chiefs were going to fall off, but they definitely didn't.
Yeah.
They were the 1 seed. I did have Buffalo and New England making in the AFC East. Buffalo and Miami made it, so I was close. I had Cincinnati and Baltimore making it. Cincinnati did. I didn't have Baltimore making it, but they did. And then my worst division by far was the AFC South. I had the Colts and Titans, and neither one of them made it. The Jaguars made it. On the NFC side, quickly, I had the Eagles and the Cowboys making it. They did. The Giants also made it. I did not have the Giants in. I had
That was unexpected.
a little bit. Yeah, it was off to the good start. Again, if you have a good start in the start of the year, look at how the Lions were. The Lions had a terrible start to the season, went on a heater in the back half of the season, and almost made the playoffs. Had the Rams beaten the Cardinals in the last game, that Lions-Packers game was winner take all to make the playoffs, and the Lions end up winning. So they would have made the playoffs, and they would have gotten stuck playing the Niners, which we'll talk about in a minute. But it would have been there.
Yeah.
So, I had San Francisco and Seattle made it. I had the Rams and the Cardinals, so I was way off on the West. The Rams did not have a good year.
Guess not.
Minnesota I had in with the Green Bay. Only Minnesota made it out of the North. And then I had Tampa Bay in the South, and Tampa Bay won, but it wasn't by as much of a margin as I thought it was going to be. They finished 8-9, and everybody else finished 7-10. So that division was basically up for grabs.
Yeah.
So, but we have games to talk about here. So hold on, just a fancy second. So we'll quickly break these all down because there is a lot to talk about, and we'll get a little bit of input from both of us and see how we're going to go. So my predictions now are mute, and I don't care about them anymore because they're old. I will say though, I still have my Super Bowl potentially on the table, which was Bills and Bucks. That is still a thing. It's still a thing for now. I don't know how long it's going to last, but for now it's still a thing. So, by the way, breaking news came in through my phone, and if it was a live show, we would have it. Yahoo Sports reports that the Cardinals are going to release Cliff Kingsbury from his contract after not having a great season. So that's a little bit of breaking news for a show that's going to come out next Sunday. Or Friday, coming out Friday.
This upcoming Friday, yeah.
So, if you didn't know, now you know. All right, so the first playoff game we're going to start talking about here is the 2-7 matchup between the San Francisco 49ers and the Seattle Seahawks. That game will be at 4:30 on Fox. Yeah, give me the Niners. I mean, the Niners have won 10 in a row.
Yeah, I'm in total agreement with that. As soon as you said the two teams, I was like, yeah, they're gonna run roughshod.
Yeah, I like what San Francisco is doing right now. I mean, you're integrating more of George Kittle. You have Christian McCaffrey. You've got a really good group around you. You've got a phenomenal defense that's around you right now. Seattle is a good team, don't get me wrong, and it's cool that Seattle made it, and a lot of people didn't expect them to make it with Geno Smith.
Yeah.
Excuse me. But that being said, San Francisco is probably one of the 2, maybe 3 favorites to not only, make it to the Super Bowl, but to potentially win it. So
yeah. So I mean, like I said, I don't know a ton about the either teams, but from what I've seen, even from just kind of hearing about them, I think that San Francisco is going to be more dominant over the Seahawks.
Absolutely.
I knew the Seahawks struggled in the beginning of the year, right? What was it in the beginning of the year? Or?
Yeah, I mean they had a little bit of a hill and valley kind of deal going on, but yeah, it wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
The second Saturday game you'll get is the primetime game at 8:15 on NBC, and that'll feature the 5 seed. I almost said San Diego, then I almost called them the Arizona. They are the Los Angeles Chargers. They are going into Jacksonville, which people did not expect Jacksonville to be in the current position that they are, but here Jacksonville is.
Yeah.
This one's tricky because there is gonna be a game where you expect the team that should win to win, but they're not going to.
Yeah.
I
almost feel like you said, that's going to be the game where it's like you expect the Chargers to win, but the Jags are, they're making it through.
Yeah, I mean they fought hard, and obviously this is the team last year that was in total disarray after drafting Trevor Lawrence and getting Travis Etienne. Etienne gets hurt, and having what is his name? Urban Meyer as your coach for a bit, who just didn't see him at the NFL system worked for him, and the team completely spiraled out of control.
Yeah.
A funny joke or thought has come around football and wrestling Twitter, and I want to see what you think about it.
Okay.
So obviously Jacksonville is AEW land, right?
Yeah.
Because the Cons are part of that.
Yeah.
So on the crazy chance that the Jaguars win the Super Bowl, does WWE send them a belt?
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely.
So
Just to spite them, yeah.
WWE sends Jacksonville a belt, and they're just like, "Here's your belt," and then Jacksonville's just like, "Oh,
Thanks.
People have been talking about it. I guess a lot of people have tweeted it, quote tweeted it.
They've done that for other teams before, right?
Well, yeah, but it's just the fact that Jacksonville is, like I said, AEW. It'd be similar to like if it was in like the 1990s or something during like the Monday Night War and WWE was doing that with belts and they gave one to the Falcons or something because the Falcons won the Super Bowl. But Atlanta is WCW territory where they'd be like, thanks, but I don't really want it.
Do you think AEW gives them a belt?
Jacksonville, if
Yeah.
they win? Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So you got the WWE belt sitting on one side, you got the AEW belt sitting on the other. It's just like, okay.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. It's like when you and Chef like argue and I'm just stuck in the middle of it.
Yeah. Like, don't
I'm just gonna play my game.
don't yell at him.
Please don't yell.
Please don't yell at me.
Nah, I think I'll say this. I wouldn't be surprised if Jacksonville won. See, it's interesting because the Chargers weren't playing for anything, but they were playing their starters for most of the game. I think Mike Williams, I know, got hurt. I don't know if he's going to play. But you know what? Give me Jacksonville. I'm going to take Jacksonville.
Okay.
I don't know what you're taking, but I'm going to take Jacksonville. I know they have Eckler, they have Keenan Allen, but like I said, you played players in a meaningless game. You already knew you were going to be the 5 seed. You couldn't move up, you couldn't move down, and you're playing Justin Herbert, your franchise quarterback, well into the third, into the fourth quarter. You played Mike Williams, and he got hurt. You're lucky Eckler didn't get hurt.
Yeah.
You're just...
That is a tough...
I mean, Jacksonville's one of those crazy areas where, and I obviously don't know much about it, but it's one of those things where if they're bad, the fans don't show up, but when they're good, the fans do show up. And if you caught any of the game against the Titans for the right to win the division, that place in Jacksonville was packed.
Oh yeah.
And they were
loud
with their "Teal with it." We're in the playoffs. Teal with it catchphrase for the playoffs.
Oh jeez.
Teal in there. That's clever, actually. It's very clever.
Yeah. I mean, if I got to choose a team, I'll probably go to Jacksonville as well.
Okay. So two for Jacksonville. I'm gonna actually mark this down. Okay. So Kyle and Big K. So we both got 49ers, correct?
Yeah.
We're both taking Jags.
Yeah.
Okay, both taking the Jags. Okay, fancy pantsy. Okay. That leads us into the Sunday triple header, which will be starting on CBS, going through Fox, and ending on NBC. The first game, the 1 o'clock game Sunday, will be the Miami Dolphins, which could have potentially been the Patriots, but here we are, and the Buffalo Bills. Now, the real question with the Dolphins is, A, is Tua Tagovailoa going to play with all of his concussion problems? A lot of experts have said he's been out twice with concussion problems, that he shouldn't play for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
And B, how injured or hurt is Tyreek Hill, and is he going to be able to make the call?
Yeah.
If the Dolphins are playing sans Hill and Tua, they're not going to win. They're not going to win. The Buffalo Bills are going to just go on this run now for DeMar, of course.
Of course, yeah. It's going to be every time now.
Yeah.
And I mean, I agree with you on that.
So if Tua and Tyreek do play, though, I would not be surprised if there was an upset. I wouldn't be surprised if Miami goes into Buffalo because they can score with them. It's going to be a matter of which defense / special teams holds up.
Yes.
But because obviously now, you played the game against the Pats. So all the emotion and all the anticipation from not playing the previous week and everything that happened the entire week, that's gone now. Now we're focused. Every team's record now is 0-0.
Pretty much,
so
yeah.
It doesn't matter what seed you are. You could be the 7th seed. You could be the 1 seed. It doesn't matter.
Yep.
Everybody is now in.
Yep.
So that being said, I'm still going to take the Bills because...
And actually, I agree with you on that.
I'm just going to take the Bills on this. I mean, like I said, if Tua's not able to play, I just don't see how any of their backups can match up to Josh Allen.
Yeah.
Josh Allen does make a lot of mistakes. This is true, but I just no.
Yeah, and like you said, with Hill being questionable, it's like
I don't know what's the status on Hill. I probably should have looked into that too, but I know last time I heard about it, when they played on this past Sunday, Hill was out, so
yeah,
with an ankle, and obviously if you're a running back or a wide receiver, I mean, you need your legs to run.
Yeah.
So
that's why I would probably have to go with the Bills on this one.
in the 4:30 slot on Fox, you got the Giants at the Vikings, and a lot of people this year calling the Vikings frauds. I think almost all of or most of their wins came via one score. They obviously, the Patriots played them pretty close and missed out on beating them, and there were games where they got, earlier in the year they played the Eagles. The second week of the season, they got completely blown out by the Eagles. They've had some luck obviously go their ways, i.e. the Bills game. They probably shouldn't have won that game against Buffalo, but they somehow did.
Yeah.
And the Giants, obviously, the Giants are one of those teams where if they get into the playoffs, you just never know.
Yeah.
You just never know. I don't think I am going to go Giants, though. I think the Vikings will figure it out. I don't know. Cousins and... I just think it comes down to Minnesota just having too much firepower. And I might look like a dork when I pick the Vikings, but I'm going to pick the Vikings.
And I am actually going the opposite on this. I think that I'm going to take the Giants on this.
Okay. I like it.
Yeah, I
like it.
Granted, they had some shaky games at times, but they've been playing a lot better than they have in previous years. So,
no, that's true. I'm just marking what the seeds are so I don't forget when we go, because we're just gonna run through the whole run of it and see how far we can get.
Okay.
Yeah, don't count the Giants out. Like I said, they've done it before where they snuck into the playoffs. They didn't look great in the regular season. They win a couple games, and then the next thing you know, they cost the Patriots a perfect season because they beat them.
Yeah.
So, the last game to round out the Sunday slate, 8:15, NBC has the Ravens-Bengals rematch. They just played each other this past week. There will be no coin toss, though, because the Ravens didn't win.
Yeah.
So, if the Ravens have Lamar, this is a different game we're talking about. If Lamar doesn't play, the Bengals will easily, I think, take it. The Ravens will play them tough. The Ravens do play tough when they get into the playoffs, and anything can happen. And I know that some of these teams didn't have a full roster of their starters that they played with, because again, you already knew your position. You couldn't move up. You couldn't move down. Why bother risking it? If Lamar does play, I gotta actually see something. So actually, when Cincinnati played in Baltimore, they lost by 2. And then obviously when they played later in the year, they won, but that was also without Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
That being said, it's not in Baltimore, it's in Cincinnati. Yeah, I'm going to take Cincinnati.
And see, that's a tough choice for me because, like you said, if Lamar plays, I think that the Ravens could win.
So if Lamar plays, are you picking the Ravens?
Yeah, I'll go Ravens.
He's going Ravens, folks. He's going Ravens.
Yeah.
And then the last one, which is really the most interesting one of the weekend, I think, is the special Monday night game between the Cowboys and the Buccaneers. This game will be on ABC. So obviously Tampa did not have a good record. Limps into the playoffs, literally, as does Dallas. And, Dallas obviously has the better record, but because Tampa Bay won their division, Tampa Bay gets the home game. And unless 6 and 7 seeds go on throughout the playoffs as well, Dallas will not get a home game. Dallas is always that team from I've known in years past where they make the playoffs and they either get through the first round and some unfortunate circumstance happens to them year after year in the second round, and I honestly do not even remember the last time they were in a conference championship game. Yeah. It's been a long time since they won a Super Bowl. They always have a lot of pressure put on them by their owner, Jerry Jones. Obviously, you could say, hey, Dallas has got a good team. They've got Dak. They've got the two-headed monster of Pollard and Ezekiel Elliott. They've got good receivers. They've got a pretty solid defense. It's been good all year. And then you look at the other side of the field and you say, as broken down and beaten up as the Buccaneers have looked and played all year, they've got Tom Brady in the playoffs, and
usually Tom Brady in the playoffs equals trouble for any team.
It's trouble for any team, absolutely. So, this one's a toss up right now. This one really is. This one's my version of a pick 'em. I'm gonna say I don't know. I mean, if both of these teams are healthy, I'd like to think Tampa Bay would be able to do it because it's Brady magic. I'm gonna sound crazy for going against Tom Brady, but I think Dallas has got it. Dallas has got a lot more to lose than Tampa Bay does. Tampa Bay has already got their Super Bowl. Dallas is just, you can't get into the playoffs and then keep being one and done first rounders. You can't do it.
Yeah.
You gotta get over the hump at some point, and if you can't get over the hump, then it's just not meant to be. You've had countless opportunities. You've had your Romo days. You've had your Dak days. Now you've had countless number one receivers. Good offensive line, fairly solid defense, and just you run into the Niners, you run into the Packers, you run into the Rams, the Bucks, all of it. And it's just always a team that's in your way. If you're gonna start it, you got to do it here. If you can slay a proverbial dragon in Tom Brady, that might set up for better success down the road. So currently, I'll let you make your pick first. Cowboys on the road in Tampa, or does Brady figure it out for at least another game?
I'm actually gonna say that Brady figures it out. Give me the Bucks.
Okay. So the way this would shake out with reseeding, your second round matchups, your divisional round matchups would be, let's see. So you would have the Eagles. We can do Eagles versus. Actually, I'll make this easier. We'll just use the city acronyms because it's a lot easier to do.
Okay.
So we'll do Philly versus the New York Giants. And your other matchup would be the San Francisco 49ers versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, which that would be Brady heading back home to San Francisco, the Bay Area.
Oh, yeah.
Holy smokes. Your other matchup would be, you have the 6th seed here, so that would be Kansas City versus Baltimore, which we've all seen that before. And then you would have Buffalo versus Jacksonville. I would have Philly Dallas. Oh boy, what a game that would be. Holy smokes. And then I would have Niners Vikings. Okay, so San Fran versus Minnesota. Then I would have Chiefs Jags. So I'd have Kansas City versus Jacksonville. And then I would have Buffalo versus Cincy.
Which one is Philly, by the way? Is that the
Philadelphia Eagles? That's the 1 seed out of the NFC.
Oh, okay. That's why they weren't on our list for games, because they get a bye week, right?
And Kansas City's got a bye week. Once upon a time, just a couple of years ago, the bye weeks went to the top 2 teams. So the 1st and 2nd seed got bye weeks, and then you would have the 3 play the 6 and the 4 play the 5. There would be usually 2 wild card games on Saturday and then 2 wild card games on Sunday, and then you go to the divisional round and so on. But then they decided to add in a 7th playoff team, and now the 2 seed does not get a bye week. So you could be the 2 seed Niners or the 2 seed Bills, and you could lose in the first week when typically you would be off.
Oh,
which is all the more reason for why now you play harder to get the 1 seed, because you at least want the week off.
Yeah.
It tends to act as an advantage, but also a disadvantage, because obviously you're used to going through the grind week after week, and now when you have a week off, while yes, it's helpful, some teams are just in a groove, and if you miss a week, now you're not playing at game speed. Now when you're starting to play at game speed, you get off to a slow start, and then the next thing you know, you're down 30 points to a team that you have no business losing to.
True.
So if we're going into the future here for a little bit, and obviously we'll backtrack on next week's show to get through the real the for real life ones,
Yeah.
and see where we're standing. Philly Giants for you. What do you want?
I think if I got to be realistic, I think I got to go Philly on that.
Okay. Granted, Philly did just win against the Giants this past week, but Giants didn't have anything to play for. They didn't play any of their starters. They had their backup quarterback in, so...
Yeah. I mean, it could be a different game, but, I mean, Philly's been pretty dominant all year.
No, they have, but there have been a couple of chinks in the armor, and there have been a couple times where Philadelphia has looked vulnerable, and if you can exploit the weakness, it all comes down to, how healthy Jalen Hurts is, because obviously he missed a couple weeks. If Philly operates as a little bit of a different team with Jalen Hurts, obviously because of his play style, but obviously Gardner Minshew in Philadelphia needed a backup quarterback, filled in admirably for Jalen Hurts. So,
yeah.
And then your other matchup to determine your NFC Championship game would be San Francisco at home against Tampa Bay.
I think...
Does Tom go into the Bay Area and knock off the Niners? Or did the Niners...
I don't think so.
So you got Philly and San Fran?
Yeah.
Okay. That's probably a favorite for a lot of people right now, so you're not in a crazy class.
Okay, good.
You're not in... It's not like, oh, this guy's nuts. He's picking the 1 and 2 seeds coming out of the NFC. No, that's not as crazy as you think it is.
Okay.
Philly, Dallas. This is tricky. I have to... That's a good one. That's a tough one, because I think... They lost to Philadelphia, and then they beat Philadelphia, but that was also when Philadelphia didn't have Jalen Hurts, and Philadelphia almost still beat them.
Yeah.
I'm going to say this, and I hate to do it to anybody out there who's a Cowboys fan. I think another year of a unfortunate event happens, and Dallas falls to Philadelphia. I think I have to, I think I'm in the same boat you are. I think the NFC Championship game is going to be Philadelphia versus San Francisco. AFC side, I'll go... I think Kansas City takes Jacksonville. I think Jacksonville gives them a little bit of a scare early, but I think Kansas City navigates it and figures it out. And on the Buffalo-Cincinnati side, Buffalo's going to be at home. I think Cincy does it, though. I think Cincy gets by. So give me Cincinnati in the AFC Championship game against Kansas City. It'll be a rematch of last year. Okay. Kansas City, Baltimore.
I think I got to go Kansas City.
Kansas City, okay. And then Buffalo, Jacksonville?
I'm going to take Buffalo.
Okay. So in your case, if it was Kansas City, Buffalo, it'll be at a neutral site. There will not be a definitive home advantage for either team.
Okay.
Because of the missed game that was played.
Yeah.
Because technically, I think if Buffalo would have played that game and they would have won, they would have had the same record as Kansas City, but they beat Kansas City head-to-head, so Buffalo would have gotten the home field advantage. So that's why they have to make it fair.
Make it like a neutral site.
Right. They have to do that, yeah. So your championship games are shaped as, we both have Philadelphia, San Francisco. You have Kansas City, Buffalo. I have Kansas City, Cincy. What are you picking, Philly or San Francisco? That game will be in Philadelphia, by the way.
That's going to be a tough one. I think if I got to go with one of those two teams coming out on top, I want to say San Francisco.
Okay. So Kyle's got San Francisco in the Super Bowl against two. Neutral site game, Kansas City versus Buffalo. Buffalo's already beaten them at home. But what happens in a neutral site? It sounds like it's going to be in a dome stadium too, so I do not believe weather will be a factor. Pardon me. I believe they said potentially Indianapolis, which I guess travel-wise is about... it's about the same, right?
I think
Buffalo's coming down to Indianapolis. Kansas City's coming from Missouri to go up, because as it turns out, Kansas City Chiefs do not play in Kansas. They play in Missouri.
Yeah.
Little known fact.
I mean, if I got to go with a team, I think I'll go with Buffalo.
Okay, so San Francisco, Buffalo?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a fine Super Bowl. That's a fine Super Bowl indeed.
I think so.
I'm going to go... The issue I have with the Philly San Francisco game is, if you're Brock Purdy, right, and you're playing, if you play against the Seahawks, okay, it's a little bit of a challenge, but it's not too difficult. Now you get to Minnesota, which, yeah, Minnesota can score, but their defense has shown that they're not that great. Now you're getting against Philadelphia, who is a pretty solid team from top to bottom. They have, great wide receivers, that'll be a great matchup. The Philly offense against the San Francisco defense. But can Brock Purdy go score for score in a hostile Philly atmosphere, for the NFC Championship? If Jalen Hurts is healthy, can they go score for score? I don't want to say no. I'm gonna take Philly, but I also wouldn't be surprised if San Francisco took the game. I do want to take San Francisco. I think it's a toss up. It really is. I'm gonna go Philly though because I want to be different.
Oh, okay.
Well, I don't want it to be like, oh, well, we both have San Francisco Buffalo. I want to mix it up a bit.
No, I respect it.
So, as far as Kansas City, Cincy, obviously Cincinnati pulled off a shocker last year when they went through their, bit of a miracle run through the playoffs, led behind their ice in his veins kicker Evan McPherson, Money McPherson as they call him now, because he didn't miss a kick. Every time they needed a clutch kick in the playoffs, he got it.
Nice.
So, I think Kansas City rights the wrong and cleans up the mistakes that they had against Cincinnati last year, and especially I think Kansas City will have a bit of an easier time against Jacksonville than Cincinnati will against Buffalo. If Cincinnati goes into Buffalo and now they have to go into Kansas City, I don't see it happening. I don't see it happening.
Okay.
So I'm going to go Philadelphia, Kansas City, which, shocker, I've picked the 2-1 seeds, which, well, it wouldn't be completely out of the realm of possibilities. So
True, yeah.
Now, for your Super Bowl matchup, what are you picking? San Francisco or Buffalo? I need a winner. And just for funsies, let's do scores.
I'm not very good with that, but if I gotta choose who wins, I gotta say San Francisco.
Okay, so San Francisco is your winner. Okay.
And I think it's gonna be 28 San Francisco to 21
Okay.
Buffalo.
Bit of a middle of the road score. I like it. I like it. It's definitely going to be, again, that'll be another matchup where it'll be the Buffalo offense taking on the San Francisco defense, and the big matchup will be the flip-flop of that, which will be, can the Buffalo defense stop the San Francisco offense?
Yes, yeah.
So, and both teams will be playing in, fairly clear weather on I think State Farm Arena is a turf. So, we'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, part of me, obviously, just to be a hater, I want to see Buffalo make it to the Super Bowl to lose again, because that would be amazing. Philadelphia, Kansas City, however. Philly's been pretty good all year. Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes. I mean, Mahomes I would give a little bit of an edge to. The Philly receivers, I think, would be better if Kansas City still had Hill, because really Kansas City has just kind of people in places. It's Patrick Mahomes' situation with his receivers this year, I think, is similar to kind of how Brady was for a while, where it was a good quarterback just surrounded by like complementary pieces. Like obviously Jerick McKinnon's kind of broken out into being more of a elite pass catcher out of the backfield, which he's hard to catch. He's hard to beat.
My question is, why did they trade Hill? I mean, if you have a guy like that,
I think it was a contract issue. I don't quite remember. I think it was a contract issue. And obviously, if a team like Miami comes at you and says, "Hey, we'll give you all these draft picks," you're just kind of like, "Okay." I don't remember quite how it was. I think there was a little bit of tension too. I don't really know what it was all
about. Maybe there was some team issues.
I think it was either a team/contract issue. I don't quite remember though.
Okay.
I wasn't really paying attention because I don't care for Kansas City or Miami.
I knew there was a trade, but I didn't know why.
But at the end of the day, when you're Kansas City, you still also have Travis Kelce, who is going to always be an X factor in any game that he plays in. Philadelphia, I would say, has probably the better receivers with A.J. Brown and think of his name in a minute, Devonta Smith.
Oh, yeah.
The defense, I'd probably give a bit of an edge to Philly. Kickers, I mean, it's pretty even, I think. I'm going to say, I think, does Philly get it done? Does Philly do it one more time? Or does Kansas City find a way? I'm going to say Kansas City somehow finds a way.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to say it's going to be, I think it's going to be a high-scoring game, though. 38-34.
Okay.
So, mark it down at the about 40-minute mark on January 9th of 2023 on the Wiki Caves podcast. As of right now, my prediction is 38-34 Kansas City wins Super Bowl 57, and you have 28-21 San Francisco beats Buffalo in Super Bowl 57. It is Super Bowl 57, right? I'm not going to sound like a complete dingus. Yes, it is. It's 57. Okay.
Okay.
The Roman numerals start throwing you off when you add in L's and V's and stuff, so I'm just making sure.
No, I respect it.
So, road to Super Bowl 57. There you go. Beautiful.
All right. So we got our picks now.
Beautiful. Now, obviously, leading into the next few weeks, because this is probably going to be football heavy, at least until the Super Bowl is over, and then we'll get into the off season, which I don't think we'll go at length about, but obviously when key things happen, the NFL draft, any big free agency things happen, we'll talk about it, because once football season winds out, we'll be jumping into the Stanley Cup playoffs, which, buddy.
Stoked about that.
Just have to sit around from October to freaking mid-April to wait for the real battle to begin. This is all just kind of It's not till you get, it's actually kind of like with college basketball. You sit through the whole year. None of it means anything outside of seeding until you get to March. That's when the big shit happens, is March Madness, which we will talk about March Madness as well.
Yeah, a little bit.
I don't know if we'll go through the full tournament because I haven't watched as much college basketball as I normally do.
Yeah, but I couldn't tell you. I know how to play the game of basketball. I couldn't really tell you much about the teams.
It's okay. It's all right. But
I
obviously,
put all my focus into hockey and football.
So,
and I'm still learning football.
Right. So as far as the matchups go now, like I said, we have our picks in place. Once obviously we get to the divisional round and the championship round, we'll break it down more. Maybe we'll try to come with more information so we sound more professional and and proper.
I got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
If the Patriots had made it in and won their game against the Bills, who do you think they would have played, and how far do you think they would have?
They would have played Buffalo.
Well, I mean, okay, but I mean, how far do you think they would have gotten?
They wouldn't have gotten past Buffalo.
Fair enough.
They wouldn't have gotten past Buffalo.
All right.
If they would have somehow shocked the world and beaten, if this was a different team with more consistency, then I would have said, you know what, they might have had a chance. Hell, if they would have beaten Buffalo, I take that back. If they would have beaten Buffalo and Cincinnati won, Cincy would have been the 2 seed, Buffalo would have been the 3 seed. So Buffalo would have played Baltimore, and New England would have ended up playing Cincinnati. Yeah. Now, let's say on the off chance, because of the lowest seed, New England somehow beats Cincinnati. Now you got to go into Kansas City.
Yeah.
There's a potential New England. Let's say, okay, let's just be crazy for a minute here. New England wins against the Bills. They make the playoffs. Bills obviously drop down to 3 seed because Cincinnati won.
Yeah.
Patriots go into Cincinnati, somehow pull off a shocker. They beat the Cincinnati Bengals. Now they go to the 1 seed, Kansas City. Somehow pull off a shocker, beat Kansas City. Let's say potentially Buffalo's there. Now you went from the 2 seed to the 1 seed. Now you got to play the 3 seed for the AFC Championship game in Buffalo. You think Buffalo is going to let New England stop them from getting to a Super Bowl? No. And let's just be even crazier. Patriots have knocked off the top 3 seeds in the AFC. Cincinnati, Kansas City, Buffalo. All road games. They've done it before, I will say. They did it in 85.
Yeah.
They were the first team, I think, to win all their road games. They beat Miami, and then they ended up playing the powerhouse Bears, who only lost 1 game all year, and that was on Monday Night Football to the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah.
So, now let's say the Patriots get to the Super Bowl, where they're probably playing the likes of either the 1 seed Philadelphia Eagles or the 2 seed San Francisco 49ers. The defense probably could have kept them in the game. It's that shit special teams and the offensive inconsistency with not being able to score in the red zone.
Yeah.
Playing against a team like Buffalo or any high-scoring team, when they're scoring touchdowns and you're kicking field goals, that's like bringing a knife to a gunfight or a gun to a bomb fight. It don't work. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. if we show up to a drag race or something, and you're showing up in this souped up car, and I show up in this freaking 1930s 40s jalopy, I'm probably have no chance of beating you.
Yeah, unless it's super souped up. It may look like a jalopy on the outside, but it's
true. That is very true. That is very true. And you can laugh at me and go, look at this hunk of junk. And I'll be like, yeah, well, this hunk of junk's about to blow yours away. but you know, or if you brought a motorcycle and I bring a tricycle, like I don't have a chance.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Unless that tricycle has
no,
rocket power
doesn't
on
have
it.
Rocket power on it, okay? Otto, Twister, and Sam. No. And Reggie. Shout out to Reggie.
Oh, yeah.
Raymundo. No. So, no, I don't think the Patriots would have gotten far, which is why I'm kind of glad. Plus, now you got to get together for another game. You got to change your schedule around. My guess would they probably would have been the 1 o'clock game on Sunday against Buffalo. That would have been the CBS game they wanted because obviously it's Buffalo, Miami. So they would have been there at 1. We would have had to get together again. Mike Pierce would have been there. Oh, touchdown! Diggies! All fucking game. Oh, did you see that? There was an amazing catch. There was an amazing touchdown. It was an amazing score. Would you shut up, you fucking hyperactive motherfucker? Shut up. All right? We had our 20-year... Oh, I don't want to live in the past. Don't want to talk about it. Shut up. Mike, I love you. You're great and all. You're a good guy. But shut the fuck up. Good Lord.
Oh, yeah.
That's all we heard all day. That's all we heard.
He's just rubbing it in our faces.
He's lucky that we love him enough that we're not going to beat the complete shit out of him.
Yeah.
Because any other person would have gotten the shit beaten out of them, and it would have only taken maybe 1 or 2 of us.
Yeah, you go to a Boston bar and start doing that.
Oh, yeah. No, that would have been... Oh, you're fucking done, kid. You're fucking done, pal. Oh, yeah. All day.
Oh, my God.
Hey, listen. If Buffalo wins for this whole DeMar thing, cool, great, groovy, awesome. If they don't, it's the same old Buffalo Bills. And you can continuously beat on the Patriots year after year. You're going to have to get over the hump. When are you going to get over the hump? Yeah. I hope there's no excuse this year, because last year was the coin toss. Oh, we didn't get a chance in overtime to score against the Chiefs, and they beat us. Hey, Chiefs didn't get a chance to score in overtime against the Patriots. Patriots beat them. So, it is how it goes. Maybe make a defensive stop in 18 seconds or 13 seconds or whatever it was against Kansas City. Don't give up 2 big plays to the same person down the field to kick a game-tying field goal. Play smarter defense.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks this prevent defense works. You know what prevent defense does? It prevents you from winning. That's what the prevent defense does.
Yeah.
It's just like if you're playing hockey and you have a big lead and you get into this defensive shell and then the other team starts scoring goals and then you don't because you're not counterbalancing with offense.
Yes. I like that analogy. That makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, that being said, keep this one short this week. Because we got another show to do quickly before you got a blast there, Jimmy Neutron.
Got a blast.
You read it this week.
All right. We are the Wicked K's podcast. We are streaming on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcast, TuneIn, and Deezer. Ha, gotcha. And wherever you get all major podcasts, as well as YouTube audio only. All right, I'll let you do the Deezer. Podcast,
no, I don't want to.
TuneIn.
It's fine.
I saw the sadness on your face.
No, I don't care.
Oh, okay, all right.
I don't care.
Deezer. And wherever you get all major podcasts, as well as YouTube, audio only. Phone number
774-764-9074.
Megan.
By the way, I know the number, but I read that backwards through the paper here, and I think that's kind of impressive.
Oh, that is impressive.
To read it backwards. Are you able to do that?
774-764-9074.
But you know the phone number by the back of your hand.
That is true, I do.
Megan, Emily. Whoever.
You know, give us a call. Anybody. It doesn't have to be a Megan or Emily. I'm just saying. It doesn't have to be.
Any single female in the Connecticut
No, hold on,
area.
wait, now this isn't a show. This isn't, what's that dating show there? I forget what it's called. Matchmaking? Not a matchmaking show. Okay? You can be.
Listen.
You can be a John or a Chris.
We do a little. I'm not looking for a John. Or a Chris.
I'm not saying
for a Megan or an Emily.
Yeah, you're looking for a Megan or Emily, but
you can have a John or a Chris. That's fine.
No, I don't want a John or a Chris.
You can have a John Cena or a Chris Benoit.
Oh, wow.
Or a Chris Jericho.
Okay.
Or a Chris Masters. Or a Chris Nowinski.
I'm just saying. There's
or a
more...
John Bradshaw Layfield.
We're. This isn't a dating line.
I know it's not a dating line, but you keep encouraging Megan or Emily to call the show.
Well,
that would be for a potential matchmaking for a date.
Listen,
you're just gonna have them call the show for funsies.
Listen. Everybody else Megan or Emily, call specifically for my boy. But everybody else, you can also call this number.
Nobody has yet.
I know.
It's been months.
I know.
All we get is telemarketers.
I know.
At least, you know what? Maybe you should answer one of those. It could be a Megan or an Emily. And
They're not leaving a message, though.
Well, that's because they're shy.
I know. They're probably just shy boys and girls out there. Listen. You don't have to call in, all right? You can email. You can sit there at your computer and just type a little email out.
And you could just do, the wickedks@gmail.com.
Yeah.
That'd be great. I mean, and if you wanted to learn a little bit more about us, or at least be able to, have the link to all the shows from 1 to now, which I don't even know what episode we're on now, like 30 or 40 something.
Actually, I think this is going to be episode 40.
Oh, 40. Yeah.
I think. I have to look back.
The big 40. We used to number them once upon a time, then we stopped doing that because I was just like, eh.
No, we still number them.
Well, I mean, in the beginning
of
the show, I would say, hey, welcome everybody to episode 10. And that way you knew, hey, listen to episode 10. Good.
Yeah.
Website, www.thewickedks.com. Socials, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You didn't get it off. I said the Twitter. You take Deezer, I take the Twitter.
Fine.
At The Wicked KS. And, of course, our favorite, which we're still waiting on, patreon.com/WickedKS.
Yes.
$3. Send some lonely boys some money.
Yeah.
We could use it to improve the show and to improve our experience doing the show, your experience listening to the show.
Yeah.
It helps everybody. It's not just like, hey, we got $3 from, so-and-so, and now we're going to go buy lunch at McDonald's. Like, that's not going to happen.
Unless that lunch at McDonald's is part of our show somehow.
I don't know why we would do a show at McDonald's. That seems kind of weird.
We could do it. We could set up a little show at McDonald's.
We could, but that would be weird. It's just people talking about all day, and it'd be like, order up, and just, it's weird.
They'd be like, listen, you guys need to get out of here, all right? You're scaring away the customers. Megan, where are you?
Maybe what we'll do is we'll order McDonald's, and we'll go into your car, and then we'll use the fancy mics, and we'll just do the show from McDonald's in the car while eating McDonald's.
Yeah, that's a possibility.
Actually, we probably shouldn't eat on the show because you hear chewing and people. This is an ASMR channel, so I don't want to do that either.
Yeah.
And also, as Kyle pointed out in last week's episode, keep a lookout. At some point, we're gonna try to do some Uno videos on YouTube.
Yeah. Well, we have other games too. We'll probably do some NHL maybe.
That's worth the content right there, especially since you and I have a Stanley Cup lined up.
Oh,
that's a 7-game battle that I'm sure the listeners would love to be able to.
They get to
witness.
watch me cry about my thumb.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, my thumb. Him shaking his hand, which I feel like makes it worse because now you're shaking it and you're moving it.
I'm trying to get the muscles like
all the blood.
Yeah, like the blood.
Oh, by the way, heads up to you right now on this show. I'm giving you at least a couple months to do this. Do it in your spare time at work, whatever. I am giving you my ultimate WrestleMania quiz. Not yet. Not till like March when it's around WrestleMania season. I'm not gonna spring it on you next week. I'm not gonna do that because we got to get past the Rumble. I'm not gonna tell you when it's gonna be, but sometime after the Royal Rumble, in between February and March, up until WrestleMania, which I don't even know when WrestleMania is. It's like April 1st. Yeah, April 1st. Did Fluffy get let off the leash?
Yes.
Yeah. April 1st. Okay. So probably sometime like early or mid-March.
Yeah.
Leading into the road to WrestleMania. Yeah, I will absolutely.
You gonna try to quiz me?
I'm not gonna try to. I'm going to quiz you.
Okay.
And we're gonna go from the first WrestleMania all the way through. So you better learn all your WrestleMania trivia, because it could be who won the match. I'm gonna give you the help right now. I'll make it all multiple choice for you to make it easier for you. It could be who won the match. It could be where was this WrestleMania located, what happened in a specific match, or what the match type was.
Can I start taking notes? Can I get a cheat sheet?
You can take notes if you want. When you're at work, you can start typing stuff up on your laptop and going through all the WrestleManias, getting any WrestleMania taglines, anything.
Okay.
Anything. I'm not going to use the internet. I'm going to use it to help me build my own, but I'm not going to find a pre-owned one and use it as
You're going to build it.
I'm going to make my own special one, kind of like we did with the music and the food trivia.
Okay.
And hold on just a second too. Hold on, just bear with me here for a second, folks. because this is information that Kyle was not aware that he was going to get towards him.
Oh, boy.
And this would be WrestleMania 39. So I think there'll be 39 questions.
Oh, okay. That's fun.
Because it's going to probably be a question for each individual WrestleMania.
Oh, okay. All right.
Because because I could do like, 2 for the same. We'll see. Maybe if I'm feeling froggy, you know what? Let's make it 50.
Oh, 50. Oh,
50
boy.
WrestleMania questions.
Wow.
Instead of 39. Because then I can add in a couple. Trust me, it's going to take me just as much research as it is for you.
Yeah.
I feel like I have to do more of the work. Obviously, it's probably even them out because you're going to be doing cheat sheet, and I'm going to be.
That's true. Yeah.
So maybe if you have a cheat sheet, does that mean that not all the questions have to be multiple choice then? I'll try to keep most of them multiple choice.
Okay.
I'll say at least half.
Okay.
A little more than half. Maybe like 30 or whatever. 30 or 40 out of the 50 will be.
Also, does my research only include me having to watch the WrestleManias, or can I do the research type up?
You can type it up. You can
All right.
Wikipedia it. You don't have to watch them. I'm not expecting you to sit down and watch every WrestleMania from 1 to 38.
Okay.
I'm not expecting you to do that. If you want to do that, more power to you. I've been going back to do that. I watched WrestleMania 2000 this past week, and I was watching WrestleMania 17 this morning before I came over.
Oh, okay. All right. So any means necessary. Got it.
By any means necessary. You want to watch it. You want to just do the quick clips. I know Peacock has a bunch of quick little WrestleMania moments. You could watch the DVD they have on Peacock. I have the DVD itself, The History of WrestleMania. And that'll give you a lot of information that you need to know.
Okay. All right.
But 50 questions are coming your way sometime in March.
Good Lord.
In the words of Scar, be prepared.
All right.
I'm giving you a 2-month head start.
All right. Fair enough. I respect it.
We'll have a little bit of downtime because in leading after March after WrestleMania, that's when the Stanley Cup playoffs start.
Ooh.
So.
Maybe I'll start putting a Stanley Cup history thing together for you.
Oh, please do so. I won't even study for it. Please do so.
Okay. All right.
I won't need to.
All right. Then that'll be the plan. I will study for.
That's something you guys have to look forward to in the future. At some point in March, there's going to be a WrestleMania quiz for Kyle, and then at some point there's also going to be a Stanley Cup playoff quiz for me, and then there'll be Stanley Cup playoff predictions. We'll talk about, and then of course your favorite time of the year, the summer. The summertime will be here.
I'm stoked. I'm ready for it.
Stoked, bro. Totally
stoked, bro. It's gonna come quick.
It's gonna come. Why'd you go, Stewie? It's gonna come real quick.
Come real quick.
So that being said, thanks for listening to the show.
Thank you.
Enjoy Sunday show when it comes out, because this show's coming out Friday.
Yes.
So enjoy Sunday show. I don't know what's going to be talked about yet, but when it comes out, you'll know.
Yeah.
We don't even know yet. And until then, oh my God, I almost just used the old tagline.
Oh boy.
Wow, I almost hit him with a tune in and tap out.
Tune in and tap out.
That's pro wrestling show days, man. We want to know if anyone's out there listening. We had a wrestling show for a little bit. It was the Bro Wrestling Show. It wasn't great. You okay over there? You're making the same face my child makes.
I'm hoping we can end the show real quick.
Okay, we'll hurry that up. Our tagline for the wrestling show was tune in or tap out. Yay or nay on the tagline. I thought it was an original tagline, so yay or nay. That being said, peace and love to all.
Let's get wicked.
Wicked Pissa.
Wicked Pissa.